Howdy everyone. Welcome to yet another daily update of Inside Russia. My name is Konstantin and this is Inside Russia channel, and I'm actually inside Russia. Inside southern Russia, the city of Rostov-on-Don. Welcome. This is another meeting of us, and I'm going to be telling you quite a complicated message. My message today is about Russian ruble. Russian ruble. But before I start, I would like to thank everyone. I would like to thank the mods, and I would like to ask the mods, give me 5x5 if they can. We don't have Yarn Prepper and Harry Potman, most likely no pinball. Everyone else should be back on. Lorna, Julie F, Bob S, Mommy, Robert Bates, of course. And that's it, right? Wow. Mommy Lorna, 5x5, thank you so much. Good to go, excellent. Now, Russian ruble. This is a very complicated topic, and I will try to explain it with simple language. As usual, my message is with no comments. You won't be able to comment, give your feedback, send super chats or anything like that, because I'm concentrating. And probably the most complicated issue to explain today. It's not what I'm feeling in my heart. It's not what I'm thinking. It's not what I'm seeing around. It's actually what happened with Russia's currency. Now, comes February 24th, and the event is announced. And guess what happens next? Most Russians jump up and run into their banks to exchange rubles into US dollars. Why? Because Russians are experienced. I was gonna say smart, but no. The right word would be experienced, because we Russians have gone through so many crises, economic crises. 1998, default by the Russian government. One day, 5 rubles were equal to $1, being traded for $1. The next day, 24 rubles. So if you had your money in rubles, overnight you lost 80% of your savings, okay, towards the dollar. Back 2008, ruble was trading at $1 was trading at 24 rubles. A couple weeks later, 34 rubles. Okay, people, if they kept their savings in rubles, they lost 30% of their savings. The next one is 2014, late 2014 November. The ruble was trading, dollar was trading $31 for 35 rubles. A few days later, 77 rubles. People lost over 50% of their savings if they had savings in rubles. So, at any sign of economic disaster, economic trouble, economic turmoil, okay, economic storm even, not a turmoil, Russians run to the banks and they exchange their rubles into American dollars. They buy American dollars, basically what they do. February 24th, the exchange rate 1 to 75. 1 American dollar would buy you 75 rubles, or actually 75 rubles would buy you 1 American dollar. For the first few days, Russian central bank was under a lot of pressure, and in Russia, now it gets a little complicated. In Russia, the exchange rate was dictated by market, by volume of trade, by supply and demand for rubles and for dollars. There were two kinds of supply demand: the external demand and internal demand, and combined they would define the volume of trade for Russian ruble, American dollar, and that volume of trade would dictate the exchange rate. Okay, it's complicated. I'll try to explain in simple language. What is the external demand? Foreign companies, foreign governments outside of Russia who wanted to do business inside of Russia. Okay, inside of Russia, you can only do business in rubles. Outside of Russia, can only do business you cannot basically transfer dollars inside of Russia and start paying salaries, start making payments in dollars. It's not how it works. You must buy Russian rubles and do all the payments transfers in Russian ruble. That's external demand. So the more business Western companies do inside Russia, the more rubles they need to buy. Okay, that drives the trade volume. Internal demand is Russian companies and Russian citizens, Russian people. It's legal to actually exchange currencies in Russia. Back in the USSR, it was illegal. Now it's legal to own dollars, to own euros. I'm talking about dollar right now. Internal demand is people. It's exactly what happened on the 24th, 25th, 26th. People just ran into the banks and started buying American dollars like crazy. Therefore, supply for American dollars went up. Huge pressure on Russian banking system. And the exchange rate of American dollar started climbing. 75, 78, 79, 82, 86, and so forth. I think within a few days, the exchange rate, and again, it was not regulated by Russian government, it was market exchange rate, so to speak. So it hit up the mark of, I think, 90 rubles very quickly. And weak currency dictates economic hardship, okay? Because people sense when economic hardship is coming and they try to dollarize, keep savings in dollars, not to lose everything. Hey, that happened in the past. People know what to expect. And sanctions by Western governments and Western companies started being put upon Russia. And the exchange rate, went up through the roof. I hadn't seen anything like that. 95, 100 rubles for dollar, 104, 110, 120, and the highest was 134, I think. It was somewhere around 134 rubles. Crazy. Russian economy started falling apart because weak ruble is an indicator of huge disaster. And people were kind of in shock. We all were sitting there looking at the news, looking at the, at the currency exchange, at the, websites where they were giving the financial information. And we were just looking and we were going, fudge, And a lot of people lost faith in ruble, saying, hey, it's becoming paper. Inflation is going to be so high up. And Russian ruble exchange rate is going to hit 200, meaning for 200 rubles, you'd be able to in the future, you'll be able to buy $1. Imagine that, 75 rubles for $1 one day, 200 another day. Okay, three times, almost three times. Don't forget that we in Russia are getting paid in rubles. Okay, and all exported goods they have the value in dollars. Basically, if you if you import a TV set and it costs 1,000 rubles, $1,000 to import, but in Russia you have to pay for the TV set in Russian rubles, right? It costs an equivalent of $1,000. For example, if there's an exchange rate of 75 rubles for dollar, then your TV that cost like $1,000 in the West and imported in Russia, it's going to cost 75,000 rubles. And if the exchange is 130 rubles for $1, then that same TV it's going to cost 130,000 rubles. But we in Russia, we get paid the same amount in rubles month after month. You know, our salaries are not connected to the dollar, okay? They don't go up and down. They are stable, okay? So basically, we were seeing as we were losing purchasing power for everything. And that's, believe me, that's not a good feeling, okay? But then something happened. Something happened, and people who support the operation, people who are not well educated, I would say, they saw an amazing, we all have seen an amazing thing, the comeback of ruble. And the exchange rate of ruble it hit 135 mark, 135 rubles for $1, and then it started going down. 120, 110, 100, 90, 80, and right now it's being traded at 71 rubles for $1. That's stronger for ruble than before this event, this operation started on the 24th of February. On paper, right now, ruble is the strongest currency in the world, the best performing currency in the world in a short run. Okay? What is this? An economic miracle? What's going on? Does this outstanding performance of Russian ruble shows that Russian economy is going stronger than ever? Does it show that all these Western sanctions do not work? They're useless, and Russian economy is, oh my God, growing, and the ruble is becoming stronger and stronger? What is this? Not so fast. But before I explain you why the ruble has grown so much, has strengthened so much, let me tell you, oh my God, people all around me who don't know much about the situation, who are not economists, who are blind, they are shouting out loud, left and right, look at the ruble, look, we're gonna be fine, we will prevail. Look, all these countries in the West, they're trying to get us down. Our economy is gonna, they're trying to put us down. They're trying to destroy our economy. But look, we have such great leadership. We have great guy, Vladimir Putin, who did things, and ruble is back. And it's back with a bang. And that's basically what I see every single day when I hear conversations about economy, future of Russian economy and future of Russian currency, okay? So what is it? Why ruble is so strong? Well, fairly simple. You see, before the event, ruble was traded freely. It had external demand and internal demand. External demand, companies who were doing business inside Russia, they needed rubles, so they were buying rubles. The more rubles they were buying, the stronger ruble was. Same thing, the exchange rate depended on the internal demand. Russian citizens, Russian companies simply dollarizing their savings, their bank accounts, buying dollars instead of rubles. The more rubles, the less dollars they were buying, the less demand for dollars, the more demand for rubles, the ruble would be stronger. The more dollars they would be buying, a ruble would be weaker. That's fairly simple so far. Bear with me. So happens 24th, and everyone runs and starts buying dollars internally. They're just grabbing everything, every single ruble they try to exchange in dollar. So huge internal demand, but Russian banking system fares well. Okay. At the same time, companies outside of Russia, they decrease their business in Russia. They need less rubles, fewer rubles, because they stop doing business in Russia. So external demand is was becoming lower and lower and lower. They didn't not to buy as many rubles as before. So you see there's a balance between external demand and internal demand. And the volume of trade of Russian currency was becoming lower. Okay. Then Russian central bank, Russian government basically decided to save ruble. Instead of letting it run in a free economy, so to speak, in a free trade, Russian government decided to stop, to limit ability to buy American dollars and to exchange rubles into dollars. Okay. First of all, Vladimir Putin signed a decree that banned regular Russians to send money outside of Russia in American dollars. So basically, I have a bank account and there's some dollars in bank account. Before I have ex-wife and a kid, a couple kids in the United States, and I would simply go to the bank and say, hey, I want to transfer $300 as child support to the United States. Hey, no problem. That's your money. I would do that. Now, I can't. Special decree signed by President of Russia. I cannot transfer money out of Russia anywhere. Okay? That is done to keep dollars inside Russia. If I wanted to withdraw American dollars, this is a great one, okay? If I want to withdraw American dollars that are in my bank account, I cannot do that. Now listen to this. If I have a payment, like I have an amount of dollars coming in from outside of Russia into my bank account, for example, YouTube pays me $1,000, right? Every 21st of every month, YouTube transfers money into my account in American dollars. I cannot withdraw American dollars. How about that? I can exchange virtually into rubles and I can withdraw rubles then. Okay, and the exchange rate would be the one that central bank sets up. Now, if I had money in US dollars before March 9th, okay, now I can only withdraw $10,000 or up to $10,000 in cash in American dollars within 6 months. Basically, in a period of 6 months, I can make withdrawals up to $10,000. If I had $100,000 in my bank account, well, it's too bad. I can only withdraw 10,000. 90,000 would be there. Now this rule works for 6 months and until September. In September, we'll see what happens. I think most likely they will prolong this rule. So if I have a large amount of money in dollars in my account, I can transfer them into rubles and withdraw as much as I can. But this is going to be the exchange rate set up by Russian central bank. Okay, and all companies that they sell things to the West and receive payments in dollars from outside of Russia must sell their revenue up to 80% of their revenue within 3 days. Exchange into rubles. Okay, that's the rule. All these limitations were set up in early March, and they were set up by the Russian government and by Russian central bank with one goal: to limit the trade of currency, Russian currency, the exchange into dollar, okay? Because with very little trade, they can set up any exchange rate they want to, and it's easy to control that exchange rate, okay? When currency is traded freely and people can do whatever they want, they will just run and buy American dollars. And there's no way that the Russian central bank can put low exchange rate and keep it that way and support it with its reserves, okay? So what happened was, at first they put limitations, huge limitations. Another limitation, if you wanted to buy a dollar, you couldn't buy like real dollar, a virtual dollar. You could only buy it into your account, not withdraw, but you would have to pay 30% tax, 30% premium. Temporary tax, okay, this is crazy, right? So Russians simply stopped buying even like virtual dollars in their accounts. Too expensive, okay? At the same time, Vladimir Putin signed a decree mandating all buyers of Russian natural gas to buy it in Russian rubles instead of native currency of contracts. This was a very controversial move because you know what happens? Basically, it's a breach of contract, okay? But I think the Russian government and Putin thought that European countries would bend and would start, paying for gas in Russian rubles. And there are a couple countries that actually decided to pay in Russian rubles. But most countries have rejected this requirement, okay? And if they're buying gas, keep on buying, but in Russian rubles, they must buy Russian rubles, exchange it from like dollars or euro and buy Russian rubles. That actually is working towards lower exchange rate. So all these measures, they've resulted in Russian rubles strengthening from mid-March, like from late February to mid-March, the exchange rate to American dollar went, the ruble became very weak. But by mid-March, all these restrictions were put in place to limit the trade, to make it impossible or very difficult to buy, withdraw American dollar. Therefore, the volume of trade went down. And the Russian government started lowering the exchange rate, okay? And where trading volume is very, very low, it's easy for to like basically easy to set up any exchange rate you want to. It's like a paper exchange rate because no free operations can be done at this exchange rate. What good does it make to me to have a strong ruble if I cannot exchange it for dollar? Explain me. That's right. So my question for this stream is, what is the future of Russian ruble? Is this ruble or ruble? My question is, right now, it's more of a ruble because of one single reason. Russian ruble is strong. The exchange rate is favorable because of its artificialness, because of the limitations placed by Russian government to keep ruble afloat. As soon as these limitations will be off, you will see a huge fall off of the ruble. Even right now, there's a black market because some Russians do need to buy dollars no matter what. Where do they go to? Other people, where it's not regulated by the government. That's free market right now. So if it's the Russian ruble exchange rate is $71 rubles per dollar, if you go and find someone willing to send you dollars for rubles, like physical dollars, you would have to pay up to 100 rubles. That's market price of a Russian ruble right now. And anywhere between 85 and 100 rubles for dollar. That's how much Russian ruble real value is. And as soon as all these limitations are off by the Russian government and interest rate was hijacked from 9.5% to 20%, that's in favor of the ruble. When the interest rate would go back to 9.5 and lower, then you will see ruble will be in free fall. Okay, that's why I am telling you that in free trade, in free market, Russian is ruble. Russian ruble is ruble. Okay, it's holding up as long as it's supported, hugely supported by the government. And the future of Russian currency, ruble, is not too bright because guess what? The government will not be able to support Russian ruble forever. It's costing money to support Russian ruble. And guess what? Not all countries will turn into buying Russian natural gas in rubles. Some countries will turn into different suppliers, and Russia will be hurting tremendously because it will lose customers, paying customers for its natural gas. Okay, so that's why I'm saying that medium term and long term perspective future of Russian ruble is very, very grim. It is strong now in the short term, but we will see ruble decline soon. And this has been my message. I would like to turn on the comments. I hope you understood. Very complicated issue. I tried to explain it with simple language. If you didn't understand something, please answer me. Put your questions in caps. And in general, let me know how you found what I just told you. Turning on the chat. Please keep it clean. Please listen to the mods and, don't put me into more danger that I'm already in. The chat's on. Welcome everyone. Great to see you. Let me take a little break. If you like my message, do me a favor. Help me out. I'm gonna just 20 minutes. I'm gonna have some tea and turn on the comments for myself. And you go ahead and share my message on social media and Facebook and other social networks that you have. Please do it right now. RC, I never got a degree from UC Davis, but I studied at 2 universities and both for economics, yes. It was a long time ago, actually. The last time I did something with economics, actually, when I was going in school. Economics is my education, but not my trade. Managing people is what I've been doing. Selling, sales, business development, stuff like that. But I was trained in economics, yes. So hello everyone, Mommy, Lorna, Julie F. Robert Bates is here. And the usual suspects. Bruce, Longworthy, Leo, Tim Deans, Liv, Susan Nally, Brianna B, and there's a super chat from Brianna B. I recognize you by the avatar. Thank you so much. $10. Hello, Constantine. If you research world economies and how they're calculated, you will see Constantine is correct. Brianna, thank you very much. Are you an economist as well? I know you lived in Russia, I remember, for such a long time, in Volgograd, or near Volgograd. The volume of trade for Russian ruble is almost non-existent right now. No one on the outside is buying Russian rubles except for, I think there are two countries that decided to switch buying natural gas in rubles. And the only bank, the only broker that's selling rubles is Gazprom Bank, nominated by the Russian government. That's the only entities doing the trade, high volume trade for rubles. Leo, thank you for $10. iBeater is great today, at least on YouTube. That's a funny message here. Thank you. Yeah, I like this kind of beating, you know. Thank you, Brianna, and thank you, Leo. Robert Holland, holy cow. Greetings from a rainy Australia. Does it ever rain in Australia? Not in the picture that we have here in Russia. Kathy D from Michigan. Elizabeth, hello. RC, I answered your question about UC Davis. I spent one summer in UC Davis, so I was there for a very short time, but that school had such an impact on me. You know, it's one of the best universities I've ever seen. It's huge. The professors are so strong there. Fantastic, fantastic student life. You know, man, UC Davis was great. I think I was going to Davis at the same time as the founders of Google, Sergey Brin and his buddy. They were attending UC Davis, and they were doing some like high-level research. They weren't undergrads at the time, but I was there at the same time with them. Trimorg says, you explained that perfectly, Constantine. Thank you, I tried. You know, my rough English, I would explain it better in Russian, trust me, but I did my best, you know. Ludmila Hopkins, hello everyone. Hello, Ludmila. Donna Olson, good afternoon from Beverly Hills. Wow, that's quite a place you live in, Beverly Hills. Explained it perfectly. Thank you, Donna. That's one place I would like to live. Actually, not Beverly Hills. You know, I was discussing with my wife moving to California, Pacific Palisades. Not too far from Beverly Hills, but that's I've been to that place before. I never lived there. I never lived in LA. I just visited a few times, but it made such an impression on me. Pacific Palisades. Ooh, what a place. Julie F. It's a good thing I read your question because I usually don't read from the mods. I think it's directed to people, but you have a question. Do you think the government pegging ruble to gold will be more beneficial over time? Well, Russian government is not pegging ruble to gold. It tried for 10 days, not direct pegging, but, you know, playing with it, and then it quit because it was costing Russian government very much, very much. And Julie, to answer your question, I don't think really that the Russian government cares about well-being of Russia, okay? People who have hijacked Russian government to certain positions, they manipulate to their own good, to their own benefits, right? To their own, they benefit themselves, okay? So I think they don't care about what's going to happen to Russian economy over time. If they did, they would act completely different, okay? So Russian government and well-being of Russian economy in the long run, they don't mix, okay? That's completely different things. That's my opinion, okay? Elizabeth Pacheco, Elizabeth, $5. Thank you so much. No message, but this message is strong enough. I really appreciate that. Thank you. And Moen YP, the rubles is essentially discounted from the global financial markets. I wouldn't say discounted. I would say isolated, canceled. Okay, ruble is existing in its market of its own, protected by the Russian government in a sort of a bubble, and it's easy to set up any rules, any exchange rate, any limitation within that bubble, because you can set up any exchange rate on paper, and it's going to be totally artificial because you are in complete control. And this is what the government is. Complete control. It doesn't care. It can set up any exchange rate. That's what it is. Thanks for the message. Thanks for the super chat. Michael Milkevich is here. Natalie Motel. Baba Johnson. Loved your interview in the WP article. I'm sorry, but what interview are you talking about? I've given a few interviews so far, but I don't recall giving anything to the WP. That's interesting. Baba, can you please send me a link to that? I heard that there was an article on my video about how I was having the very last meal at Russian McDonald's. Someone said that they ran one of the Boston newspapers ran an article about that, but actually I couldn't find it. The WP article, anyway, if you have a link, could you please send it to me? Thank you for $50 from Philip Lewis. Much appreciated, Philip. Thank you so much. And you have quite a long message. Appreciate you sharing, BV, your experience and Russian perspective. Dollar is having problems with inflation. Now I know people are trying to escape the inflation. Many US people are buying gold, silver, and commodities. Our Russians are able to do the same. First of all, Philip, dollar is having problems. Any currency over periods of time has problems, ups and downs. As long as it's traded freely, it's a free market for that currency, that's normal, that's okay. That can be fixed, okay? But not the way that Russian government fixed Russian problems, all right? I don't even have an analogy. I apologize. I cannot make an analogy of what Russian government has done. So, inflation can be reversed in the United States, and many US people are buying gold, silver, and commodities, and that's great. In Russia, we're not allowed to do that because, hey, Russian government doesn't like us to find loopholes and somehow save our money. Okay, they want complete control over our savings, how we spend our savings, how we want to buy dollars. Oh yeah, go ahead, you can buy virtual dollars and spend an arm and a leg for that. Okay, that's pretty much what the government says. We cannot buy gold here, we cannot buy silver. Commodities, what? Precious metals, no. Oil, there's no market for oil. Oil is traded government like long-term contracts only. Pretty much we're out of luck. Hopefully I answered your question, and thank you so much for $50. Philip, you are awesome. You're a serial super chatter. Thank you. $10. Reese Gray. Oh, you're late. You're usually the first one. And Leo was bragging that he beat you today. Hello from Canada, Mr. Popular. Good topic today. No questions for you, unfortunately. So I'll just send my support instead. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much. Your support instead? What are you talking about? Your support is huge, you know. It's this is the message. You send me a message every single day. Besides that, the words that you write me, you sending super chats is a huge, huge message. You know. I keep on repeating. I do super chats to other bloggers myself sometimes, and I understand what it is to send money. And to me, that's the highest way of appreciating someone's work, because you work hard for the money. You earn hard work, and then you part with some of that money and then send it to someone. It means that you have to like that person's work so much that you actually part with your hard-earned money, you know. And to me, that's the highest form of appreciation. So thank you so much for appreciating me every single time. Gulag. Kyle E, what do you think about the current climate? It won't stop raining here. Cow got swept away. Kyle, please remind me where you are at. There are so many people, so many messages, but the climate has been definitely weird in Russia. It rained so much and it's still cold. Here in the south of Russia, mid-May, well, early May, is when we switch long sleeve shirts for t-shirts, because it's up in close to 30s in Celsius. Please apologize. And it's getting to, usually it gets to 80s in Fahrenheit. It's summer. I mean, this is south of Russia. We're still wearing coats because it's cold. In Moscow, I was leaving on April 30th, and it snowed, okay? Usually doesn't happen often. The weather has been really, really strange throughout Russia. One of the colder years. Brianna B, inside Russia. Yes, I studied at Trinity University, Dublin. Brianna, sitting here in Russia, I know your school. Fantastic school, fantastic university. Mortham, it isn't a scam, but it's close. Crypto is valid for failed states and economies. Venezuela, have a couple others. Well, I'm not discussing crypto. I'm not a huge expert on that. I think cryptocurrency is a commodity, a virtual commodity out of government's control, freely traded, and it's highly speculative, okay? April Tracy, hello from J, Maine. April, fellow Mainer. Maine is one of my favorite places on earth. Great to see another Mainer here. Welcome. I'm sending you love from Russia, south of Russia. Leanne, hello from Indiana, USA. Darn, Philip, another $50. Thanks for sharing again. Thank you. I don't know what to say. Thank you. Do you know much about the history or story of when Russia sold to US Alaska for $5 million? Why did Russia do this? Yes, I do. I'm not an expert of that. From what I understand, if you look at the map, that Russia 300 years ago was expanding at a huge, huge rate. And if you look at the map, you will see all this continental Russia east of Moscow. I mean, I flew to Novosibirsk one time, and I think it was at night. I was flying for 1 hour. I did not see one light underneath me. taiga. It's just huge, huge territory. And not only Russia had that back 250 years ago, right? But it expanded into the America, okay, into the continent, into Alaska. And basically it discovered Alaska and claimed its territory. And I think Russians went as far as California. There is still Fort Ross in California. That was a trading company for Russian territories and for Russian Alaska. And basically, from what I understand, the Catherine, the Russian Tsarine, had to sell it because, first of all, she needed money real bad. Second of all, it's really hard to control such a huge territory. Imagine, back then, in order to send a message to Alaska, it probably would take a good year of people traveling by horses, okay, or by sea into Alaska just to get the message, to the receiver, all right? And I think it was really impossible to control such a huge territory. That's why they decided to cut Alaska off. And I think it was a good decision, the right decision. Now, a lot of Russians saying, hey, they made a mistake. Well, try to be in their shoes, Try to try to run the country, to manage so huge, territory so huge that a message takes like close to a year just to get there. And then tell me what you think about selling it or keeping it, stuff like that. I think Russia was better off selling it off, and I think America definitely gained a lot. Thank goodness that Russia sold and Alaska is American now. I think people in Alaska, they don't mind. They should be so grateful to Russians, to the Russian Tsarine, to sell Alaska. Then they should keep on thanking. So thank you guys, thank you Russians. So we're the Americans, we're not the Russians. Again, Philip, thank you for the super chat. Christopher Law, Robert Bates deleted the message. Christopher, would you please email me if you want my answer? Usually Christopher is very careful with messages. And Coco Cook, $5. Mommy deleted the message. Again, if you want me to see the message and answer it, would you please email me after the stream or email me right now, and I will definitely answer the question. I see a message from Karen Main. Lisa's Pizza. Wow, I spent basically 8 years next to Lisa's Pizza if you're talking about Old Orchard Beach, Have I been there? I basically ate it almost every year, every day in the season. Because well, I worked right next to it, like few steps away. Lisa's was not my most favorite though. Bill's Pizza across the street. That's where I usually would go and buy pizza for myself and my employees. But Lisa's was, I know that quite well. It was pretty good as well. Small world, huh, Karen? Perondo, hello from France. Any news about Renault? Do they stay? No, they just sold their business for $1. They basically gave up Russian assets. This is crazy. This is such a huge hit to Russian economy that large companies, they forfeit their assets. Can you imagine that? Renault is going to write off such a loss due to their leaving Russia, due to the giving up on Russia. But they find it so toxic right here, working here, that they are ready to take that loss. They will never ever come back to Russia. What is Russian government thinking? They think that all, like after this is done, everyone's gonna rush back. Yeah, right. You gotta be insane to think that. Sarah Pollen can see Russia from her house, so watch out, Russians, says Thermodynamics. Gianni Morello from Chile. Chile for free half of its territory to Argentina. I'll give for free. Not huge expert on South America, I'm sorry, that's so far away from us. Mods hit the spot again. Zev Maxwell, you made me start drinking tea every night. That's, well, you know what? Cheers to you. This tea is a little different. It's rooibos. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this kind of tea. It's like a plant. It's considered herbal tea. Kind of reminds real tea, but that's also very, very tasty. Skipper, what will happen when China moves into the east of Russia? Well, east of Russia will become probably, in Chinese, smaller Russia and of part of Greater China. And with the way the things are going right now, I think this will happen. I think China will take over a part of Russia, or perhaps the entire Russia. Don't believe the entire Russia, but definitely the Far East and that part that is adjacent to China will become Russia, because Russian government is doing such crazy decisions. They're like accelerating this situation. They should be aware of China. Beware of China. They should be putting policies in place to, get closer to the West to withstand China. Instead, they throw in Russia into Chinese hands. And that's not a good policy, and it's not good politics. Jamie Walsh, Big Bear is an American Russian. I am Russian, but with a huge influence of American culture. I would be American Russian if I had a green card or Russian American citizenship, but I don't have neither, so I'm Russian. But certainly America is Russia is my mother, American is my father, so to speak. So I have two different parents. $5 from Vortex Queen, thank you so much, €5. Throughout history, suspicion has always bred conflict. The real conflict, though, resides in people's hearts. This conflict has just begun. This is a very right message and a very bad one. The bad one, not because you made a bad message, but because the situation is bad. And you're absolutely right. The real conflict has just begun. And many people yet to realize it here in Russia. I'm so surprised there's so many people, my fellow Russians, are so nearsighted. They do not see beyond tomorrow. They don't understand what's going to happen in 3 months, in 6 months, next year. Russian government officials, they're smart. They know what's going to happen. Russian head of Russian Central Bank, Elvira Nabiulina, she sent a clear message to the Russian Senate. She said, things are not going to go well very soon. She said, we're going to see tremendous downfall in the summertime. I thought the biggest tsunami wave will hit Russia in September or, early fall. But she sees a better picture, more clear picture. And she told Russian senators, summertime, middle of summer. So, couple more months. And, Vortex Queen, you will see that this conflict in the hearts has just begun, and it's bringing the conflicts everywhere, in the economy, in education, in medicine, in science, and so forth. It's crazy. Four minutes, okie dokie. Couple more questions and I will wrap up the stream. G. Morris, Gina, Renault is a huge French car manufacturer. Susan Nelly, great question. How do Russian people save for retirement typically? They don't. The government takes responsibility for Russian people upon retirement, and every Russian is entitled to a pension. The pensions used to be flat for everyone, and now they depend on how much you worked throughout your life. My mom worked all her life, and she was an accountant of high caliber, a very professional person. She was making decent money. She gets a little over $100 per month, a pension from the government. It's barely enough to pay utilities, and that's it, just little tiny bit left for food. She has me. I am her retirement. Usually Russians try to buy property, not mortgage, but buy, over the course of life. They acquire apartments, houses. Therefore, it's easier for them to live when they grow older. So, but usually it's not Russian culture to save up money for retirement. Russians spend as soon as they make it, okay? Because tomorrow might never come. Tomorrow might be so terrible that all this money that they've saved will be wiped out. Happened a few times over the history of Russia. Russians don't trust the government. They try to invest into cars, not smart, okay? Real estate, smarter, but and they try to spend it all, not smart. So I hope I answered your question. Brianna B. Konstantin, you are right again on China. Thank you so much, Brianna. They are also not afraid of anyone anymore. Because their opponents, Russia, the United States, they have become weaker and China has become much stronger. China has acquired great army, great technology, great economy. They're not afraid. I agree with you, Brianna. This is the country to watch for. This is the enemy, okay? Not Russia. Well, Russia's been acting like, I won't go there, okay? That's just, I can't believe this is happening, right? We should be aligning with Ukraine, with Europe, with the United States, because we have such a huge enemy in the East. And instead, we're fighting one another. John Clark, thank you for super chat. Thanks for the message, Much appreciated. Guam. Whoa. Guam is a U.S. territory, right? Okay. Lorna, Robert Bates, Mommy, Julie F. Time is up. Please, everyone, join me in prayer. Very simple prayer today. Believers, non-believers, atheists, I don't know, everyone, please join in prayer. If you don't like to call it a prayer, join in sending good wishes to all people in the world and sending good energy, creating something good. Thank you. Dear God, thank you so much for giving us such a good day. Thank you for giving us food on our tables, roofs over our heads. And thank you for surrounding us with love and people who love us and love when we love people who are around us. Dear God, please help to stop bloodshed in Ukraine as soon as possible. Please use your powers. Reach out your hand and touch heads and hearts of everyone who is involved. The soldiers, the decision makers, everyone, and fill their heads, fill their hearts with love, compassion, remorse, and forgiveness. Please send angels to Ukraine, to every single person who is there, to every single Ukrainian, to every single soldier on both sides, Ukraine and Russia. So angels will stop this bloodshed. They will stop people from harming one another. Because we've had so much pain. It's just not, and we don't need that anymore. We need love. We need forgiveness. Please help us come to our senses and have that love, forgiveness, mercy. Please help everyone who's helping Ukrainians who have been displaced, moved to other countries. A lot of people on the ground doing some relief efforts. Many people donate money. Many people open doors of their houses to the refugees. Please help those who are helping Ukrainians. Please give us wisdom to raise our children the way that they will make better world with no fighting, not like us. They will have them grow and become adults and love one another, be friends with one another, and never fight with one another. Please help those who are seeking political asylum anywhere in the world. If people are displaced and had to run from the country, give them your love, show them your mercy, and help them out. Give them new home. Help those who don't have food on their tables, feed them. Thank you. I would like to ask you to help everyone who is praying with me and watching us praying and simply wishing well to many people. Thank you, dear God, for giving us this opportunity, bringing us together, and giving us the chance to pray. Please help those who are praying and make their wishes come true and grant their prayers. I would like to mention a few people who reached out to me and asked to mention in the prayer. They need your help. Please help them. They are Shay, Rafaela From and her daughter Anna, William Schaffner, Elena, Natasha, Jake, Michael, Oля, Dasha, Sky and Bonnie, Rebecca Witzman, Melissa Defoe, Asabuwanki, Bus Salmon, and Mary B. Jean-Paul. Jean-Paul needs to go home. He needs to get better. His family loves him and needs him. Please help him and please help his loved ones. Paula McDonald, Jane Hancock, Michael Milkevich's mother, Brian V's mother, who had a heart surgery. She needs your help to recover. Marlene, Mikhail's family, Dimitrius and Kieran, Maddie and Sharon, Narnian lady, Teresa D's grandson Brantley, Susan S., Sabrina Fell, Firefly Farm's son, Moby and Skipper09, my mod mommy and her husband, and Sharon. Thank you so much, dear God. Thank you. Amen. Everyone, thank you for another good stream. It's been a good week. Thanks for checking in with me every day. Thanks for checking in today. Tomorrow, I am in Rostov-on-Don, south of Russia, and I would like to do something different. I'd like to actually do a walking tour and show you what's going on in Russia. How is southern Russia, Rostov-on-Don these days? I'm going to have the stream earlier tomorrow, and since it'll be Saturday, usually we make a little longer stream. I'm thinking around 11ish a.m. Eastern Standard Time for 2 hours. I'm gonna do walking tour of the embankment of Rostov, the main embankment, and the FIFA Stadium Park. Hopefully you will like it. Hopefully that will be a good stream. And please come and join us tomorrow. Mods, thanks for checking in. Thanks for helping me out. Without you, these streams would not be happening. And I'll see everyone tomorrow. You are awesome and you rock. Thank you. Keep on coming in.